What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Den Transmissions. We already got Charlie in the chat. What's going on, man? You gonna be watching and eating? Well, hope your food's good. Speaking of food, we missed last week, and last week I decided to take a little bit of a break. I had some friends and family that I wanted to hang out with and spend some time with for Thanksgiving. I hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. I know I way too much food. I had way too much pie, had way too much stuffing, all the good stuff. It was a lot. So I needed a little bit of time to recover. But we're back this week, and we're back with Skeleton Crew, which is surprisingly pretty interesting so far. We're gonna go down and break into it with episodes 1 and 2, just kind of how this is going to go if you're new to this. I got a couple screenshots from just things I thought were interesting in the episode, and we're going to go shot by shot, or shot by shot, not of every single shot, because that would be here for 60 years, but ones that I found interesting, and kind of dissect them and go through them. So glad you guys are here with me hanging out. It's going to be a fun time. And oh my goodness, my glasses are super dirty. I looked over at the screen and I couldn't even see anything. But yeah, I mean, oh, actually, before we get into, I'm excited about Skeleton Crew, but before we get into Skeleton Crew, you guys have been sleeping on Star Wars Hunters. I know you have. And I'm excited to announce that it's going to be, I think we got a update. It was either this week or last week that it is coming to Steam. I believe it's either today or tomorrow that the beta is going to be, and then I think it's the first month, so January, they're going to release it on Steam. So all the Steam players, hey, we're gonna blow this game up because it's going to be awesome. Originally, it was just on Nintendo Switch and the phones, your mobile phones. So hopefully we can get that over to Xbox and PlayStation 2 to grow the community even more, and there's going to be cross-platform, hopefully. So really cool stuff. Nick, we got Nick in here. What's going on, man? Very excited for that, dude. Me too, man. I am super excited. I've been playing a crap ton on the Switch. I think I have over like 70, 80 hours in the game already. Season 4 just dropped, and I think it was a Dathomirian, hunter, but not a Night Sister. I don't think. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, it's gonna be cool. Hey, we got everybody popping in the chat. What's going on, JT? But yeah, so let's pop right into Skeleton Crew. We're gonna let me switch to my other screen, and we'll get right going in on that. But come on. There we go. All right, so scene number 1. Let me shuffle my notes over. I wrote a whole bunch of notes for you guys so I can remember all this fun stuff. So first we got the intro to the ship, them like boarding it, pillaging and plundering, and I think this is super cool. I can see the translation. I'm a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan. I love Assassin's Creed, Black Flags. I'm big pirate guy. Treasure Planet's another really cool one, and it's cool to kind of see the like sci-fi version of like boarding a ship. So they got these tunnels. Honestly, reminds me a little bit. Shout out to all my Halo fans out there, of how they board in Halo 2, where like they have these like, I guess they're more like drop ships that like kind of lunge into the ship in Halo, and these are more like tubes that are extended, but still kind of giving the same vibes. And man, just really cool. I love the light. They nailed the light. I don't know if this was shot, maybe one of you guys know if it was shot on the volume. I'm assuming it was, but the lighting, I don't know what it is about it, but it's and this show in general, not just in this scene. This scene's cool because it's red. It's kind of got almost like a Vader hallway scene kind of vibe to it, but the lighting and the atmospheric kind of effects in this show are really, really well done. Let me see if I can. Oh no, is it not going to let me switch to the next one? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we got this guy right off the bat. This guy comes out and gets shot in the eye and keeps going. I hope we see him in a later scene, and maybe there is another shot where he has an eye patch, but definitely very pirate-esque. I wrote down the name of this species because for the life of me I couldn't remember. Ishi-Tib. Yeah, Ishi-Tib. We don't get to see a lot of these creatures, and that's one thing that I do like about this show that I think they're learning. is while I was not a fan of the Acolyte, I really loved how many like creatures and like background items there were. And I think they probably learned from that and took that to heart. You had a little bit of Mando too, but even Mando had a little bit of not as many creatures. Or Andor was another one that didn't have a lot of creatures in it and species. So I'm glad they're kind of taking that into effect, because the variety of pirates, especially when we get to the pirate planet, which is a little bit further down the line, you see like a variety and some stuff we haven't even seen before. At least I haven't seen it. So yeah, I thought that was pretty sick. And then we got Brutus, and oh my goodness, definitely hands down thus far my favorite character in this show. He is so freaking cool. He's like a wolf man. I want to go. I it sucks because I'm going. Well, it doesn't suck. Big whoop. I'm going to celebration, or not big whoop. Big cries to me because I'm like, oh, it sucks that I can't work on this cosplay, because like I had that would divert from my Japan fun, but definitely maybe towards the end of next year or even the start of 2026, I want to cosplay this guy, because man, his design where he's got the straps of just multiple blasters. He's got two on the side. He's probably got one in the back if I had to guess, and it's just super cool. I love the way his eyes glows. We actually see his species pop up a few times. I know in the cantina scene and A New Hope when they first enter, he's there. And then in the Tarnakovsky Clone Wars, the 2003, one of the Jedi generals is also his species. So pretty cool. Pretty cool that they're throwing this back in. But also too, and this is gonna be a little rant, guys. Just a baby rant. Where the heck are all the Bothans, man? Where are the freaking Bothans? We get so many like wolf-like species, and the Bothans were introduced, like what Mon Mothma says it in I think it's Return of the Jedi, because she was like, many Bothans died to get us these plans. And I believe that was the clearance code plans for Endor to shut down the shield generators. I want to say that's what she was referencing. But we don't see anything. We don't get them in the video games, or we only get them in the books and comics. I mean, I guess we get them a little bit. Battlefront 2 doesn't count, man. They turn invisible, and they're like the spies. They can like shoot like gas and stuff like that at you. That doesn't count. I want more Bothans. We'll get some Bothan love in there. So that's my little rant about that. What you saying, JT? I think the mouth movement in particular with the animatronics is, yeah, dude, they have perfected the animatronics, and that's the one thing that's another thing that's like, I think, dude, like the sets, the creature design, the animatronic design, like they have mastered that craft, especially too with something like a Cad Bane, which is a little bit more, I think, complex than like what like the wolf mask would be. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe like the snout is, I think with the Cad Bane it was more of like getting the measurements right and the articulation right with it, but I could be wrong on that front, but I'm not 100% with that one. But yeah, man, definitely my favorite character thus far. He's freaking super cool. I think he's supposed to be kind of like a Blackbeard, kind of like take no prisoners type of character, and he just coming out guns blazing, shooting to the left, shooting to the right. It was sick. There we go. And then we got Silva, which I don't know about you guys, but 100% that's Jude Law. 100%. You can tell by the cadence and the way that he speaks. And honestly, even though it's like muffled behind like I don't even know, like a voice changer, voice modulator, it still kind of sounds like him. So I don't really mind. It's like they're trying to hide it, but it's I don't think it's a big deal. If it ends up being Jude Law, I'm not gonna be like, dang it. But let me know if you guys think that it was Jude Law too, because I really do think that it was him, because it explains why he was in the prison hold in the second episode. But super, I think, honestly, badass that he was like, oh man, he like knew the mutiny was gonna happen. He's like, mutiny then, and just starts going just beating the crap out of everybody. I thought it was really funny, even though I thought he, being a Jedi, if he's not using some like cheap trick or something like that at the end of the second, I know I'm jumping ahead, but at the end of the second episode, and he actually is a Jedi, What is the thought? Maybe he could take out maybe like one or two guys before, without even maybe using the Force. Just like Jedi have like heightened speed and strength. Maybe he would have taken out a few more guys, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Definitely him. Yeah, Nick. I know we talked about it in our group chat, saying that he was. It just sounds like him, and I think everybody is feeling the same way. I don't know if they're trying to hide it too much. They just really gave him a helmet, and I think he tried to change the way he talked a little bit, but not nothing too crazy with that. But yeah, I mean, we got the kids, and that's another thing I want to. The reason why I like this show is because I think this show is super relatable. You see them, like all these pictures that I'm about to show you guys, we've all done, and sometimes we still freaking do it. They're fighting with invisible lightsabers. He's fighting with, I think, his rocket ship, and Neil is fighting with his invisible lightsabers. He's got the toys that like I actually don't. Oh well, I guess I got this one. But we got toys all the time playing with them. I grew up doing the exact same thing that this, like, the kids are super relatable, and I think they did a good job with like referencing us as kids playing with Star Wars stuff, and like the kids in Star Wars actually playing with Star Wars stuff. And I think it's a really good thing. It definitely gives me, which I meant to say kind of at the beginning, this show is, I think it's a combination of like, you got Peter Pan, wrote it down here, Peter Pan, Goonies, E.T., Treasure Planet, Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan, Stranger Things, all those type of movies. I think they pulled a lot of inspiration from that, and you can see that within a lot of these different shots. I thought it was cool that for 2 seconds you see a little cage back there with little creature, and it's like a bring your I saw it as like show and tell. I think they really did a good job of making this feel like an actual school. It's actually relatable. Stuff's going on and happening, and yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really related. I keep saying relatable, but I thought it was really. It pulls a lot of stuff that I think we can all pull from our childhood, and I think that's important within Star Wars, because Star Wars is, I think, to a lot of people, really relatable, and can parallel their own lives. Maybe not 100%, but in some of the different ways. Hey, we got the Stanleys in here, man. What's going on? Appreciate you stopping in and hanging out. Oh, and I missed JT's chat. It says, even the top of his helmet kind of looks like a pirate hat. Yeah, you're going back here. Go back to it real quick. Yeah, it's kind of got the pirate kind of esqueness to it. There's a couple in here that they, when the kids find the ship, they throw on a couple hats that are actually like just pirate hats, straight up pirate hats. Dude, does that dude have a nose ring too? Or am I tripping? Does he have a nose ring right here? I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but the guy with the eye patch, looks like he has like a little nose ring. It's funny. Let me go back. So yeah, we saw the, oh man, also the speeder. Another thing that's relatable is the speeders, because I grew up, I had a motorcycle, a little dirt bike when I was a kid. When they jump off the ramp and take the shortcut, that definitely like threw me back to my childhood, because I'll tell y'all a little story. So I got this little dirt bike, a little, like, it's a, just a little thing, and I had a bike ramp that it's designed for bikes. It's not designed for motorcycles that can go way faster than a bike can. And I thought I was cool, and I set up the ramp and jumped off the ramp with my motorcycle, and they do the same thing. It definitely took me back to my childhood, and I love these little like go-kart kind of street bike, or not street bikes. I guess they're kind of a mixture between like go-karts and bicycles, but everybody seems to kind of have one, which is cool, and they're all a little different. You see, I forget the main kid who you see at the beginning. I forget his name, but he's like picking his up and putting it over like the little like barrier, and he's got the little like sprockety like tassels on the end of his like handlebars, just like bikes do. I thought they did a good job of making it Star Wars, but also making it and that's the thing I think I like most about the show so far, is they're pulling a lot of elements without it being like too in your face. Which I think is cool. These kids are going faster than the mods, and but dude, don't even get me started about that. Oh my goodness, these freaking kids and their freaking bikes compared to the mods. Yeah, the mods. I don't know what they did with that scene. They should have sped that scene up. They looked like they were going 2 miles an hour. But yeah, these kids would 100% smoke the the mod riders in Tatooine, and also too they got. Look, they got damage like all over, like where her handlebars are. There's grime. There's damage. Like I would say these bikes should have been in Tatooine, and the ones that were in Book of Boba Fett should have been at Atten, because this looks like a place that doesn't get a lot of like it may like rain and stuff like that, but there's not a lot of wear and tear. There's not a lot of weather, so having a more pristine bike would make more sense than that. But yeah, Nick, you're gonna get me all fired up, man, about Boba Fett. You're all fired up here. Okay, so this is a message to Disney. You gave us the blue milk, right? You go to Galaxy's Edge, you can get the blue milk, you can get the green milk at Galaxy's Edge. You can get blue milk in the stores. I don't know if you can still do that. That might have been like a limited run thing. When are we getting the officially licensed Star Wars cereal? We got Cyril Karn and Andor eating like Cocoa Puffs or whatever the heck he was eating. Maybe not Fruity Pebbles. Captain Crunch, but just the berries. You know, just that one. And then here it kind of looks like I don't even know what he's eating here. It kind of looks like Cocoa Puffs too, but a little like sprawled out. But I want some officially licensed Star Wars cereal. Am I the only one here that wants officially licensed Star Wars cereal? The blue milk was good. I tried it. You should go check out that video if you haven't checked it out. It's a little bit further down. My girlfriend Lydia and I tried the blue milk and gave our review on it. Blue noodles? Question mark. No, he was definitely eating cereal. He ate blue noodles, but there was a scene where he poured like cereal and they looked like the Captain Crunch berries in it. Remember the licensed Attack of the Clone Lucky Charms? Dude, I don't remember that, and I'm kind of mad that I don't, and we actually need to see that right now. So I'm gonna see it. You said it was Attack of the Clones Lucky Charms. So I remember the Pop-Tart, the Spider-Man 2, I think it was Spider-Man 2 Pop-Tarts. Those are freaking awesome. I wish they would bring those back. But were they shaped like got the here, let me pull this up for you guys. They have the shapes too. Yo, I must have missed this. Where the heck was this? I didn't even see this, man. That's cool. That's really cool. Well, I know, was this with the spoons? Maybe that's what it was. Was this because I remember there was cereal and you had like a lightsaber and you could like light it up and it was like a spoon too. But yeah, man, I totally forgot about this. But yeah, Disney. I mean, you can license with other brands. I'm fine with eating some Lucky Charms or something like that. But I want some like official Star Wars licensed cereal. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one here. I haven't seen any of you guys say you want that too, but yeah, we need some more Star Wars cereal in our lives. The blue noodles were in Andor. The subordinates were eating them. Yeah. The noodle, but I could have sworn that Cyril ate cereal too at his mom's place. He was eating it at his mom's place. I gotta go back and look then. If you guys are saying, I'm sticking to my guns that he did eat cereal. Maybe we all need to go back and watch Andor. I know it's been a minute, but he did eat noodles too. I will say that, but he had cereal at some point. Cereal had cereal. That he was eating tricks. Okay. I'm not the only one. You guys are making it seem like it was a fever dream or something like that. JC said it was like a prismatic box with a marshmallows being Star Wars things, and Anakin was on one of the covers. Yeah, for sure. If you want to eat noodles out of a noodle box, I make them. Yeah, definitely go check that out. CGS Props on Etsy, and I don't believe you have a website yet, but I think you only have an Etsy if I believe it. But yeah, CGS Props, go check it out if you want the blue noodles. You want to eat like cereal. Blue noodles, eat like cereal. But yeah, I little tangent. I think it's cool. I love seeing them eat like it's not blue milk. It's like green, like opaque milk or something like that. But yeah, we need some licensed Star Wars cereal for sure. And I thought this was cool because this is actually from the holiday special. So not this scene, but they're watching these like acrobatics, and they did a Star Wars holiday special in the 70s, where Lumpy is kind of watching the exact same acrobatics. They're doing the exact same stuff. So I thought that was a cool reference and callback to something that like not a lot of people have seen. I haven't seen the holiday special all the way through. I've only seen little clips and memes and stuff like that from it. But I have seen that because he does a little after this. He does a little cheesy smile, and that's my image for a lot of stuff. I love that little image of him smiling. But let me see. Let me see if I. Oh, here. So that's actually for episode 2, where I'm gonna pop back to this, and we'll just leave it on this for right now. And one other thing that I saw is I know I've been referencing some video games that referenced Halo. I'm about to reference Fallout. The test that they're taking reminded me of in Fallout 3 at the very beginning. You have to go take like the goat. It's called the goat, which is assesses what you're gonna do in the vault for like the rest of your life. Some people are plumbers, some people are cooks, yada yada yada, and they have like kind of the exact same scheme going on here, where you have the teacher coming in and being like, "Oh, well, you have your like assessment test tomorrow. You better make sure. Like, what do you want to be?" He's like, "Oh, I want to be a Jedi." Which is pretty funny. But yeah, it was a cool. It reminded me a lot of Fallout, which I don't know if that's what they took the inspiration from. I know there's other shows and movies out there that also have that sort of like, oh, well, today is your test day, and you get to like figure out like what your role is in society. Let me see where we at. You guys are blowing up the chat tonight. I appreciate you. I saw an interview that they went into the archives and remade the costumes to be identical. Amazing. Yo, that's cool. That's cool. I like that they're taking stuff from the old holiday special, like a lot of the older stuff. I know here in the second episode, when we go a little further in, there's a creature that they did for I believe it's called the Battle of Endor. I haven't seen it. I actually saw that on Instagram, where they used like the creature design from the Battle of Endor, or no, it's Battle for Endor movie that came out in like the 80s or something like this. It's a really bad Star Wars movie that didn't do very well, but yeah. The Hollow Show is Charlie's favorite. Yeah, yeah. I would say I'm surprised Charlie hasn't popped in saying stuff about the holiday special yet. He might still be munching on some food. I know he popped in early, but better get the Hollow table out rather than the VR machine. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. But no, it is a cool callback, and little like I said, it's a lot of like low impact stuff that they're adding in here, so like I'm cool with it. And that's the thing about this show that I also forgot to kind of mention at the very beginning is I am really enjoying the show and like what it's giving us so far. And I think I like it because it's more of a maybe not side project, maybe that's not the best way to explain it, but more of like there's not a crazy amount of like big stakes. Like I would say even Andor is a little bit more of a side show, but it still has more kind of importance within the Skywalker saga, because like of what's happening with the Death Star and the building the rebellion, which have to do a lot with the Skywalkers. So it has a little bit more importance, whereas this has, at least as far as we know so far, has nothing to do with the Skywalkers, which I'm honestly really enjoying. And as far as it being like just kind of like a lower end show, I know a lot of us who were kind of going into this being like, okay, this isn't going to blow our pants off or blow our minds, but it looks like it's enjoyable, and thus far it's delivered. So, but I think that's it. Let me check to see if I have anything left on episode 1. I think that's all that I had to say. Oh, the fact that they're also, man, I love that we're getting pirates and Star Wars. There's a lot of kind of, I guess, factions, as you say, that aren't really explored. We don't know a lot about smugglers. Really, the only super popular smuggler is Han Solo and Lando. Besides that, there are a couple. You got your Dash Rendars, you got your K Vests and stuff like that. A lot of those just kind of feel like Han Solo ripoffs, so they're not really crazy big thing. But I'm hoping we're kind of gonna get more that were more of the treasure hunters. I wasn't super into. I believe her name was V in the Bad Batch with the treasure hunting episode and season 2. But I would love to see that more of that in this show where that's the main focus. So you got pirates, you got smugglers, you got treasure hunters, and showing a little bit more of like we're not really getting any Mandalorians, we're not getting Jedi, we're not getting Sith. Some of the other factions that revolve around Star Wars. I think that's really important, and I'm loving it so far. I'm like I said at the beginning, I'm a huge pirate fan, so I love that we're getting a lot of these different other dynamics that we haven't really seen before, and I think they're delivering it perfectly. Okay, so let me pull this episode 2. Pull the episode 2. So I wanted to start with this one because this is exactly what starts the second episode. Is they launch off into hyperspace, and I thought this was funny because every time we see hyperspace or somebody sees hyperspace for the first time, it's kind of like a whoa, like they're like amazed. They've never seen anything like it. And I want to say, I mean, quote me if I'm wrong. This is the first time we see somebody who's like terrified as they're entering hyperspace. Like all the kids are like losing their minds, and it's not a fun experience for them. So I thought it was interesting to see a different dynamic other than like kind of being like starstruck and amazed. They're like terrified and flipping out. They're getting basically just thrown. I mean, I think this is the right reaction because they're 10, 8 or something like that, getting thrown into the middle of space where you don't know where you are. That would probably be my reaction too, as I'd be flipping out. But I don't know, I just thought it was funny because we always get like this sense of like amazement and like grandness every time hyperspace enters, and this was not the case for this one. And then we got Shmee, which is, or Smee, which I thought was cool Peter Pan reference because Shmee is like Captain Hook's. I believe it's his second mate. I think is what they call it, the second hand. But a very cool Peter Pan reference. I like that he has like one eye missing with like a little rodent in it, and I don't know, just the way he moves. And I'm going to talk about him a little later too, when he gets into a little bit of a debacle. Go in the distance. But yeah, super cool design. Again, the design for all like the creatures, the robots, the design for the ship, and for it's port, is it not Bogo, it's Port Borgo, if I can talk. It's just immaculate. They the costume department, the set designers, they really nailed it. And I think they're getting, as each show goes along, I think each show is just getting better and better at really nailing down that universe. Especially too, because I feel like in things like Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett felt very small and not lived in as much. I think they're really learning, which is good. That's what you want. You want them to learn the lessons and be like, hey, that could have been done better. Let's move on and make a better project. And I think it's happening as we're starting to see it. Even, like I said, wasn't a fan of Acolyte, but even like the set design and the props and everything like that in Acolyte, I thought were even better than some things we got in Kenobi and Boba Fett and all that. This kid had never flown. Wait, hold on. The kids have never flown into hyperspace. Not a surprise they scream. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But like you get, so for instance, like you have in Bad Batch, you have Omega who goes into hyperspace for the first time, and you see like the hyperspace like light up in her eyes, and she's like all in awe and amazement. And I feel like that's kind of the more. I'm not saying that it wasn't like a realistic reaction. I think that's a very valid reaction. But yeah, I thought it was just something to point out because I feel like everybody is kind of starstruck when they go into hyperspace for the first time, and there's been instances where that's portrayed, and this one was like the opposite, so I thought it was kind of funny. The legacy effects is nailing the practicals in the industry. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that it's probably the best that it's ever been. I would say, just because technology is advanced. I'm sure with like the animatronics within the pieces, them or within the masks, them creating like the volume, which I think what George like initially like envisioned. He had a lot of like blue screens and green screens and things like that, but I think that's what he wanted to work into. It just in the early 2000s it wasn't something that was feasible. But yeah, Nick, I completely agree. It was they're just knocking it out of the park with a lot of this stuff. And then when they want to go back to At Atten, I thought that was kind of cool. This is kind of the first time we get, which I don't know why Aldani is like really small right now. Let me kind of zoom in. When they want to go to At Atten, the robot doesn't know where At Atten is, which I'm like, the only loophole I have to that, like ships have logs, and why can't you look back in the ship's log to the last known spot before it jumped into hyperspace? That's I'm a little like I don't know. I know that they said look in your log like the robot, but the robot wasn't turned on until like they had already like I think already had like initiated hyperspace. That's why it didn't come out. But doesn't the ship have a log? Like maybe I'm tripping. Maybe that's before, because that ship has obviously been there for a while. Maybe that's before ships actually had logs and they can like categorize each place that they've been, or maybe it didn't have that part. Maybe that's where you could spin that and it kind of explain it. But we know that At Atten's more of like a treasure planet, so to speak, where. But I thought it was cool that instead of in Treasure Planet, nobody's ever been there. It's hard to find. The kids, that's where the kids are from. There's a whole society there that doesn't know that they're like kind of like Camino, essentially, where it's like been deleted off the face of the planet and nobody's ever found it, which I thought was a cool spin. But he mentions Aldani, which is cool, and/or reference. He mentions Adelon. If I can switch to the neck. Oh, I zoomed in, so it's just Adelon, which is kind of cool because I didn't realize what planet that was on the first watch through, but it's the one of the rebel bases in Rebels, which I thought was kind of cool. And then I looked at the third one, which I don't remember. It's like Alacor or something like that, which he said was like a bog planet. I looked it up and there wasn't anything in reference to that, so I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Maybe that's a deep cut in one of the books, one of the EU stuff, but yeah, I imagine a pirate ship would take out their location logs in case they get into the hands of the authorities. Yeah, that's another way you could definitely explain it. For sure, is that they're just like, it's kind of like a. I'm trying to think of like a good reference for that. I don't know, but just what you were saying, kind of like I guess to the now that I'm thinking about it, the Razor Crest didn't have like a. It was like you did like a crap, man. I'm like trying to find my words. It didn't have like a serial number. It was like, you know how all guns have serial numbers, and if you shave off the serial number on a gun, that's like illegal. You can't do that because it's harder to trace. It's like the same thing with the Razor Crest, and maybe like what you're saying. Maybe that ship has like the same thing where like they've scrubbed everything and deleted the log so it can't track kind of anything. And the only reason why they could go to other planets is because the Shmi had all that in his head. But that's another. Oh, I wanted to mention with Treasure Planet too. Shmi is definitely like the robot on Trinity President that has like the mechanism taken out of the back of his head. You know, he doesn't know that like he's like where Treasure Planet is or how to find it. And I think it's the same thing. Like maybe the pirates took something out that he just doesn't have, or like erased it in his database or something like that. The barrier surrounding the planet probably prevents sensor locating it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we need to know a little bit more about like what the barrier is, and like who built it, which I'm sure we'll get more into. I'm sure they'll go into like their government and like how the whole planet was created and lost and stuff like that. Or maybe we won't, and that'll just be what they give us. But like Isla del Morta in the Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, an island that can't be found except for those who know how to find it. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I could totally see that. And then we got this. So this was the creature I was talking about earlier for the battle for Endor. Let me see. I think yeah, the Teaks. Yeah, so you got so they look a little bit more goofy. Granted, this was made in like the 70s or 80s, so you can see the difference. But they're a little race of just apparently super annoying, just like individuals, and you can kind of get that from him, how he was like laughing and scurrying around and running as soon as they had the credits and stuff like that. But I thought that was a cool little nod that he was like the port guide. He would come in, take everybody from the ship to the Port Bogo, or I keep want to say Bogo. It's Borgo. Port Borgo is really freaking cool. I love like them coming into the asteroids, and then it's like the port is built in the asteroid, very like you were saying, like Isla de Morta, something like that. Or no, actually no, not Isla de Morta. It'd be more like Tortuga or like NASA, Nassau, I think is how you say it, from like back in the Disney when pirates roam like the dinosaurs when the pirates roam the land. But you have like the port, and I that's one thing that I really like with this show is I love that it's giving us, because that kind of it's a port, but it kind of gave me like underground Coruscant vibes, where it's like every spot that you're in is deadly. You can die at any second. Everybody's there to just like raid, pillage, and plunder, and it's really cool. And I hope we get more of that in the show, because I think they're nailing it so far, because that port is really cool looking. And then we got a cool callback to the Old Republic. We keep getting these Old Republic callbacks, just like little names here and there, and it was cool that they have like brand new credits that you can kind of see, like they're from Mad-Atten, which has like the treasure of the century, and that's why the Old Republic credits are there. And that's why I said like maybe the ship's not up to date, because maybe that ship's been crashed since the Old Republic, and that's hundreds, thousands of years. Or not hundreds, but like thousands of years before this takes place. This takes place in between, I think, Mandalorian season 3. I think because Vane is here and he's not with his captain anymore. He flies off in season 3, and then you never see him again, and picks up here where he's at. But yeah, I thought this was a really cool Old Republic reference. We got the creature, which could not tell you what this creature's name is. Maybe one of you guys know. But this is a funny callback to apparently something with Michael Jackson, one of his music videos, or maybe it was a movie. Maybe I think it was actually a movie, but you can see kind of the resemblance between that. So I guess this Michael Jackson's canon in the Star Wars universe. But that's what I'm saying. They're pulling these little references, pulling these little nods that I just really appreciate. And again, killing it with the creature design. You got this. I have no idea what this creature is. Again, give us a Bothan, man. I love this creature design. Super cool. Give us a Bothan. We see a lot of like wolf-like creatures, but no Bothans. We got the what looks like a mud crab from freaking Fallout, one of those like mire lurkers. I got Vanth. There's another one, I think. Yeah, and then we got the boar dude too. So tons of creatures all around, and I really love the costume design on this one. We also have a new cuss word within the Star Wars universe. We got Dink Ferric, and now we've got he says it here. What is this? A criffing charity? So I'm guessing criffing is the F word, or criff is the F word. And in Star Wars, I like that we're getting a little bit of, they're trying to use cuss words in Star Wars, but more creatively, which I can really appreciate. And then, who knew that Shmi has freaking hands, dude? This dude was going the distance on these freaking pirates. He's beating the crap out of the Mylurker dude, just punching him. I think he punches, I forget I don't even know if they say his name. He like uppercuts that guy and throws him like 50 feet in the air. He like throws Vane back, and then he burns. He has got these little like, kind of like the Mandalorians have, like those shields, and they get so hot that he like brands that boar guy. He just like shoves him into a wall and like brands him, which is like super metal. Like really crazy. But yeah, who knew that he had hands? I guess after all these years he could still go the distance. Oh, and that's my thumbnail. And that's it. Let me pull myself back up. That's all the screenshots that I had talking about, and it was me. Let me pull the chat back down here, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more before I bounce out of here. Yeah. But yeah, no, super good. Like super words, super good. This took me a little bit by surprise. I was not super excited for Skeleton Crew off the bat. I thought it had a potential to be good. I love Goonies. I love Stranger Things. Love Pirates of the Caribbean. So I thought it definitely had potential, but not necessarily, especially with Star Wars kind of being in a little bit of a lull as of late, in my opinion. Wasn't super excited about this project after having a couple misses from the Star Wars franchise, but they're delivering. The story is good, super relatable. I think I haven't met a character yet that I'm like, I don't really like you. So yeah. You guys are blowing up the chat again. Let me find where we last left off. The pirate base is definitely like Tortuga. Yeah, definitely. Maybe like Tortuga, but a little less fun. I say, like, Tortuga is about like having fun and like getting drunk and like partying and stuff like that, which I'm sure there is there on the Borgo, but it seems a little bit more sketchy on Borgo. It seems like you, instead of having fun and like partying and stuff like that, it's more like you're gonna get shot and stabbed for like 5 credits or something like that. It seems a little bit more like underground and gritty and stuff. But First mate doubles as a bodyguard. I know, dude. He's going the distance with those hands. I guess, because he can like, I don't know if you guys saw that, but he can like extend. He's like go gadget, like extendo arm. So all his arms like extended, and like he's got the reach, man. He's going the distance. Hey, Charlie popping back in. Damn right, the Stanleys. Life Day equals greatness. Oh my goodness. I knew Charlie was gonna pop in with the Life Day stuff. But yeah, I think that's really it. I'll come back over my notes just to see if I like missed any key points with anything. But yeah, I think that's really my overarching thought, I guess. I love the pirates. Anything pirate based, I'm pretty much hooked. I'm a big fan of that. Brutus is my favorite character and favorite design thus far, which is really interesting because I really liked Vane. I love the prosthetics and how he can move his mouth, like his dress, or not dress, but his outfit is like super pirate-esque, but still Star Wars. But yeah, Brutus is coming in, and I really think he's going to be like a Blackbeard-esque character, because he's the leader of the pack now. You got I didn't mention Urkel. Urkel's in there too. He's like the bald guy with like the cyborg, like Psylop kind of eye. But yeah, he called him in, and he seems like he's the one calling the shots now. So I hope he's like the big main bad guy of this show. I think he's gonna be. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. We're sitting at about 43 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. We're not doing any watch parties for Skeleton Crew. I thought it'd be best not to do that. Plus the whole thing with StreamYards and them like upping their prices, kind of trying to shuffle around and figure out what we're gonna do. I think the next one's gonna be Andor. We'll definitely do watch parties for Andor. But yeah, gonna do weekly stuff, talking about the episodes each week, going forward until that finishes, and then we'll start on something else. But I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you next week. As always, may the force